Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at gcnlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the green flags tumble.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked. Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. Broadcasting 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains. If you'd like to call us, we'll pay for the call. 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. We've got a listen line that's working a lot better. 605-562-4080. 605-562-4080. And if your wireless provider says, you know what, we're not going to let you call these numbers to listen to the radio on your unlimited long distance on your cell phone, if you happen to plug a set of speakers into your headphone jack on your cell phone and you want to listen that way, if you decide that you're going to still keep your cell phone. And if you get a hard time, contact me, please. Send us an email, Vincent@USAPrepares.com. Name the carrier, and we'll talk about them on the air. We'll give them all the publicity they deserve. Converging threats are confronted daily by your instructors. I'm Vincent Finelli. Aaron's engineering the broadcast in Minnesota. Captain John Regan's with us. Welcome, Captain John Regan.
Good morning, Vincent.
John, you know, I was talking with our engineer just before the broadcast, and I can tell you that I haven't heard a single person on the air, nor a commercial over the air, use the word Independence Day, or the words Independence Day. The only term I've heard to represent Independence Day are the 4th of July. The sales, the sales flyer, 4th of July sale. Okay. Commercials on the radio, 4th of July. News, 4th of July. 4th of July fireworks, 4th of July accidents, 4th of July travel, nothing about Independence Day, not one use of the words Independence Day, except here, I've heard it here, and maybe some other broadcasters on this network have used it, but I have not heard it on commercial radio, mainstream media at all. Have you?
No, maybe you should just count it as a win that it's still expressed in English.
That's a really good point. It's a sad point. It's a really sad point, but it's a valid point. Well, John, I can tell you that there were fireworks accidents. People are lighting off. Maybe it's just fireworks day. That's what it's going to be called in the future. Well, or the big sale day, or fireworks day, or take it a day off from work day. But there were some fireworks accidents, and I know of a guy who was involved in lighting off some fireworks, and he had this prepackaged arrangement where you'd light one of them off, and it would set off a Roman candle, or a little rocket would go off, and sometimes the box that it was in, that was designed to launch from, would flip over. And you light one fuse, and it lights the next fireworks in a series, and the next one, and the next one. It's just kind of automated. The problem is, it fell over. And when it fell over, the rockets, started shooting at people. So that's that Chinese stuff, right? That cheap Chinese stuff. Well, there are all kinds of fireworks accidents, and a number of people have been hurt and injured. Frankly, I hate to say this. I mean, we have some instructors who just love fireworks. I don't. For a lot of reasons. One, I don't want to breathe all those metals that become airborne. I don't want to breathe the smoke. I don't want to inhale it. And I came home with our family from an event on Friday, And I got to tell you that, no, actually it was Saturday, excuse me, there was smoke all over our little hamlet. I mean, from fireworks, a massive amount of smoke, thick smoke. And I didn't even want to, drive through it. So I'm not really crazy about this fireworks stuff. I don't like, one of the reasons I don't do it on the farm is I don't want the cows eating the wrappings, the stuff that falls down from the sky, the heavy metals, the other metals, the copper, the magnesium, the strontium, all those things that are part of the red and white and yellow and orange and blue and green fireworks. I just don't, and I don't want to frighten the animals either. And if we're not going to call it Independence Day, what's the point of having fireworks anyway? Are we celebrating the sales? By the way, the cops were like, the Blue Plague was out in force over the weekend. I mean, unbelievable amount of police on Friday. On the interstates, on the highways. I mean, they were sniping, and it took two cars worth of the Blue Plague to stop people for whatever they were stopping them for. And not one of those stops that we saw with the red and blue and white lights, not one of them was helping someone with a flat tire. Not one. And I met with a group of people over the weekend. We were just kind of sitting around and chatting about farming and things. And a couple of things came up, John. One thing that came up was revenue. The cops are out for revenue. I'm talking about people in their 60s, 70s are talking about, it's all about revenue. That's what these cops are doing. They're actually talking about it in circles that are outside of our circles. That's what they do. And the next thing that came up, John, is something that we've been talking about, the price of parts. The price of replacement parts for things is out of control. Really, really expensive. Certainly can't buy a new one because the new ones are really expensive, whatever the new ones are. And the price of replacement parts are really high. What do you think?
Yeah, and along the lines you're talking about the fireworks mishaps over the weekend. I don't know if you saw the one in Maine. We have a strong candidate for the Darwin Award this year. He thought it was a good idea to launch a mortar from his head, and he won't be trying that ever again.
Really? You're serious?
He was killed in front of his brother. This is a guy that played the live-action Gaston at Disney in Florida.
You really have to wonder, what was he thinking? Really, what was he thinking? I know a guy who was told to me that he was lighting off fireworks. I know this guy. I've seen him in within the last couple of weeks. He was lighting fireworks, and it was one of these automated things. You just light the fuse, and the fireworks started going, instead of vertically, they were going horizontally, and all the people around were running. And he said, where are you guys going? You guys are just a bunch of pansies. Until one of the rockets hit him in the chest. And he started running. So I know this guy. And I'm not going to put my life at risk, with some Chinese fireworks just because the package says that this is a rocket and it's going to go up. Doesn't mean to me it's just not going to explode right then and there. I'm not going to believe any of it. And where do you go? Where do you go to, if there is an injury? How do you find these people? I'm not for regulation in most circumstances, and I'm just going to vote with my wallet. I'm not going to participate in that. I'm really not. But I wish I could buy dynamite. I really do. I miss the ability to buy dynamite because we have some tree stumps that I'd like to poke a hole in the ground and stick a dynamite in there and just light the fuse, and with good quality explosives, that'd be kind of nice. But farmers can't buy dynamite anymore. You just pop these, saw these dead trees down and put some dynamite under there and blow up the roots and just pick it up with a backhoe. But it'd be a great work saver. But I can't buy dynamite anymore. I guess that, but you can buy all the dangerous fireworks you want. You know, in Missouri, there are fireworks stands everywhere. As a matter of fact, there was a news article on KY3, John, that's out of Springfield, TV station out of Springfield, and there was this report of this church. Now, what they do in Missouri is anybody who wants to sets up a tent and they sell fireworks. So, there are radio stations that sell fireworks. Well, this church decided that they wanted to sell fireworks. I mean, they didn't want to be left out of the cash flow. And they set up a fireworks tent and they were selling, and they had some young people who were working there to take money. It was open 24 hours a day. And they said, they were robbed at gunpoint. Somebody robbed them of $60. And then on the police report, it's like, well, you know what? It doesn't add up. Maybe they weren't robbed. So they didn't say it. They didn't say that, you know what, maybe this church theft was an inside job. But what in the heck are churches doing selling fireworks? Seriously. How does that make any sense at all? I don't get it. Have you heard of it, John? I mean, have you heard of a church selling fireworks before, or is this something I haven't been paying attention to and I just realized that there's a church selling fireworks just outside of Springfield, Missouri?
Well, I know there's a lot of churches hurting for money too, and I guess they're just trying to become more worldly.
Yeah, okay. Well, that makes sense. So let's move right into illegal drugs. Let's start selling those. What do you think? I mean, just
well, the government hates the competition.
Yeah. Oh. I don't know. I'm not a drug user. However, I am for legalization of a lot of drugs because it would probably reduce the crime rate. That's just my thinking as a libertarian, couched in Republican clothing, I guess.
Well, even back when we went to school, they taught us, prohibition didn't work. All it did was, create this underground economy and made things more dangerous. And they're trying it again.
Mm-hmm. John, we come back. I'd like to tell you a short story. We can do it in the next segment. Over the weekend, I bought an old farm truck. And I'll tell you why I did this. It was very, very inexpensive. And it's an experiment. I'll tell you why I bought this old Chevy farm truck when we come back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
We live in a complicated society. Stressful issues are always popping up. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone? Have you ever been overcharged for a repair? Have you ever signed a contract or a document? Worried about identity theft? How many times have you been in those unique situations where you just wanted to call an attorney to find out if you're right or wrong, or what your legal rights are? But every time you think about calling an attorney, what do you think about first? That's right. Who do you call, and how much will it cost? Our friends at Legal Shield have found a solution. With a nationwide network of 6,900 attorneys who average 19 years of experience, Legal Shield's law firms take over 40,000 calls per week helping their members. For less than $20 per month, you can have access to Legal Shield on everything from the trivial to the traumatic. Let Legal Shield stand up for your rights at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com. Or call 855-340-SAVE, 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case. Honey, it's time for dinner. What are you doing over there on your computer?
I'm shopping for a new wallet. Mine is falling apart. Hey, did you know there's a company called ID Stronghold that makes shielded wallets to prevent electronic pickpocketing?
Oh, I didn't realize there was such a thing as electronic pickpocketing. What is that?
Well, apparently, many of the new credit and debit cards being issued have radio chips inside them called RFID that transmit our banking information to card readers when we pay. Unfortunately, a bad guy can also get one of these readers and go around the city scanning people, collecting their credit card numbers and personal information without us knowing it.
Wow, that sounds scary. Since you're getting a new wallet anyway, you should definitely get an ID Stronghold shielded wallet. Are they more expensive?
No. In fact, I can get a shielded leather wallet from IDStronghold.com for the same price or less than regular unshielded wallets from other stores.
Sounds great. My wallet isn't falling apart yet, but let me pick one out too. I want to be protected, and these wallets at IDStronghold.com look fantastic.
Have you ever wondered if you could make electric, light, or heat in your home for free? How about a motor that charges batteries at the same time? What if this also restores useless batteries and saves you lots of money? Come to our Renaissance Charge Conference workshop on August 15th and 16th in Fort Lauderdale. Visit r-charge.com. That's r-charge.com for details, or call 208-304-2954. 208-304-2954.
Hey, Berkey Guy here. Are you still drinking unfiltered tap water? Does your water contain chlorine or fluoride? Will you have drinkable water in an emergency? The Berkey Guy is here to help you remove these and other potential contaminants from your water, thus helping you drink clean, purified water. We offer Berkey water purification systems at the lowest available prices online. Don't go another moment without Berkey system. Over the last 10 years, we've helped thousands drink clean, purified water. Join them by visiting goberkey.com or call me, the Berkey Guy, at 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653.
Captain John Regan's with us. And John, so, over the last week, I found an old truck on the internet. And so I called the guy who was selling it, and we talked about it. And this is not a new truck, okay? It's 11 years old. And it has about 200,000 miles on it. And I asked him about the condition and the accidents, and it had never been in an accident. And he sent me the Carfax and so forth. And it was exactly what I was looking for as a farm truck. Something that, if it got another dent in it, it'd be okay. But something that would get me there and back, get Mrs. Finelli there and back. And something that I could convert to propane. So the truck was $3,000. An engine for a truck like that would be $1,000. I mean, it has maybe $8,000 worth of parts on it. If I were to take it apart and sell the parts, I could make money doing that. But it's a half-ton truck, and it has lights in it. The glass works. Everything works. Air conditioning. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And so for $3,000, I was able to get this truck. Now, for $125 previous to this, I bought a propane tank. This propane tank holds 82 gallons if you could fill it completely, but you can't, so it'll hold about 60 gallons of propane. Propane's about $1 a gallon. This truck will get 20 miles to the gallon, so I can go 1,200 miles on a tank of propane. Now, how much will it cost to fill this? Oh, about $60. So I can go 1,200 miles on $60 worth of propane. It's absolutely amazing. So if the truck lasts another 100,000 miles, I might fill it up maybe 10 times in its lifetime. I won't have to change the oil because propane doesn't contaminate the oil the way gasoline does, and I bought the conversion kit for $125. So I can strap down this propane tank in the back bed of the truck. I'll still have 6.5 feet of bed to use to haul wood around the farm and to pick up supplies that we need, and farm supplies and feed bags and all that kind of stuff. I need a truck to do that. So for $3,000 plus $125, I'll have a propane truck. I think it's absolutely, fabulous. I'm excited about it because, if you look at Greece, and I'm sure we're going to talk about Greece today, you look at what's happening in Greece, people are trying to buy, the necessary supplies, and they're having a great deal of difficulty buying what they need. Well, I'm not going to let that happen. So if propane lasts forever, and I can transfer propane from one tank to another, using physics, and a piece of pipe, I'll be in good shape. I'll be able to get around. on the farm, and I'll be able to continue farming. And I'm not going to let these criminal bankers, and the people who are manipulating our weather, I'm not going to let them get away with putting us out of business. I'm not going to do it. I worked too hard for this. So I'm not going to give up. And so this is one of the strategies that we've employed here. So, our finances are winding down. We're having less and less. And the good thing about that is there'll be less for the banks to raid if we go toward a Greece-style solution by the government, right?
It's going to be an interesting second half of the year.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, John Regan, but if I remember correctly, you've mentioned this for going on 2 years now. Watch Greece, watch Greece. Isn't it? Am I wrong, or have you been saying this?
I've been saying a lot of things.
Yeah.
We need to watch Greece. We need to watch Puerto Rico. We need to, keep an eye on what our wonderful State Department's doing with Iran, which may cause Israel to bomb Iran, which could change things in a big hurry.
Mm-hmm. Tell you what, we have a homework assignment for our class. I've been watching Jericho for the second time. Jericho, it's on Netflix. If we don't have a subscription, but we benefit from someone else letting us use their subscription to Netflix, because multiple people can watch Netflix on the same account. And I suggest that you all watch Jericho. It's about a series of atomic detonations across the United States. It's like who did it and what happened. It's a news blackout, and every little town has what they have, and that's it. Major cities were blown to bits, and you can't find out what's going on. It's what this little town in Kansas is doing in their neighboring town, and how everything's good, and they're going to cooperate, and they start a war with each other, and then they fight, and then you've got the equivalent of Blackwater coming in and stealing and robbing and siphoning. It's just, at the muzzle of a gun. It's a great, great series. If you want to see what may happen with almost surety, Jericho. It's on Netflix. We'll be right back.
Good people need help. The Homeowners Association said we had weeds and fined us $25. We told them they had the wrong house. They said if we didn't pay it, they'd file a lien. Our attorney demanded photographs, witnesses, and told them if they couldn't provide this, they must cease and desist. Issue solved. Worry less and live more with lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com, or call 855-340-SAVE. That's 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Poleski of the Poleski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Is negative content or comments on the web affecting your personal or professional reputation? Unfavorable comments, embarrassing pictures, videos, legal documents, and bad tweets can ruin your personal life, your career, or your business. It happens a lot, and it's just not fair. But what can you do? Reputation.com can protect your good name. Get a free consultation now at 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Call right now for a free expert reputation analysis. It's easy to squash the unfair attacks with our patented system, and the analysis is absolutely free. Make the best things about you jump out in searches. Protect your personal and professional reputation, your business, and your income. Get your free reputation analysis from Reputation.com right now. Call 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771.
Honey, it's time for dinner. What are you doing over there on your computer?
I'm shopping for a new wallet. Mine is falling apart. Hey, did you know there's a company called ID Stronghold that makes shielded wallets to prevent electronic pickpocketing?
Oh, I didn't realize there was such a thing as electronic pickpocketing. What is that?
Well, apparently, many of the new credit and debit cards being issued have radio chips inside them called RFID that transmit our banking information to card readers when we pay. Unfortunately, a bad guy can also get one of these readers and go around the city scanning people, collecting their credit card numbers and personal information without us knowing it.
Wow, that sounds scary. Since you're getting a new wallet anyway, you should definitely get an ID Stronghold shielded wallet. Are they more expensive?
No. In fact, I can get a shielded leather wallet from IDStronghold.com for the same price or less than regular unshielded wallets from other stores.
Sounds great. My wallet isn't falling apart yet, but let me pick one out too. I want to be protected, and these wallets at IDStronghold.com look fantastic.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Captain John Regan's with us. Hey, John, let me share another really quick story with you. You know, I've been waiting for the rain to stop so I can bale hay. The whole family's, ready to bale hay. And we had a failure of a hydraulic cylinder that operates the baler. And it started squirting out hydraulic fluid. There's just no way you can continue baling with a leaky hydraulic cylinder. It's spraying oil, on the grass, and I don't want to do that. So I looked on the internet, and I thought, these parts should be about $20 for an O-ring and a seal. And I'll just fix this thing myself. Well, the O-ring and seal from John Deere, and it's a proprietary part, is $101 for the O-ring and seal. It's like 5 to 10 times what it should cost. But I'm stuck, and, I have to buy it from them. So I found a dealer who had it in our community. And so I said, well, you guys do this? Do you guys rebuild these cylinders? And they said, sure. It's $85, flat rate. I said, okay. So I went to pick up the parts, and I thought, I brought the cylinder with me, and our cylinder's in absolutely perfect shape. I mean, it's clean. It looks like it's brand new. No dings, no dents, no scrapes, no scuffs. Looks like it just came out of the showroom. We take care of our equipment. Anyway, I left it with the service department. I said, I'll tell you what, how about if you guys do it? Because I don't want to damage this, and you guys have all the tools. And can I pick it up in an hour? And they said, sure. So a little over an hour later, my son and I went back, and they said, you know what, we've got a problem. It's going to take longer. As a matter of fact, let's show you. So they brought us to the back of the shop where it says, a customer's not allowed there due to insurance reasons. So they brought us back there, and there's our hydraulic cylinder in a vise. And they said, now see this nut here is cracked. This gland, Gland, nut cracked and we can't get a replacement, so we're going to weld it. And it's going to take, all day. And so we don't want you to have to buy a new cylinder. Well, I looked at it and I said, "Are you the shop foreman?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." Well, all the information that I've read says you never, ever, ever put a hydraulic cylinder in a vise because you can crush it, and if it goes out of round, as much as 1/1000th of an inch, you've destroyed it. He said, "No, we just rest it there. It's not in there. It's just resting there." Well, and he showed me this nut that was cracked. Well, I said, "So how'd it crack?" He said, "Well, it was rusted." So it was rusted? Really? Stainless steel. He said, "Well, it was rusted." What happened really was his over-anxious employee there put too much force on it and cracked it. And he wasn't careful, in my opinion. And instead of welding it, what they used was JB weld. It's kind of like a epoxy glue. And I was thinking about this thing, and I decided that after I paid for it, they said it took 3 hours, but they only charged me for 1 hour, $85. After it was repaired, I thought, you know what? I'm not happy with this. So I asked to talk to the store manager. And I said, "So here's what happened." I explained what happened. I said, "The reason we brought this to you and had you guys do it is so this wouldn't happen." But it did happen. But here's the interesting thing about all this, store manager. Nobody said, "Mr. Finelli, I am so sorry that we destroyed this gland nut. Would it be okay with you if we gave you a new hydraulic cylinder because this was our fault? Would that be okay?" Nobody said that. And nobody apologized. And so here I am with a damaged hydraulic cylinder that may fail. What are you going to do about it? And he looked at me and he said, "I'd like to give you a new one." And I said, "That'd be great. Thanks so much." So they're going to order a new one, and I'll be able to pick it up, this week. But what I'm saying is the foreman tried to cover it up. The shop tried to cover it up. And it wasn't until we uncovered what they actually did that they decided, when we pressured them by saying, "You know what? You guys did this. You guys damaged our property. You literally damaged our property that we entrusted to you, and you screwed it up. Now, how about doing the right thing?" So these things are several $100s, these hydraulic cylinders. Probably over 400. Bottom line is, I think we should all start doing this. I think we should all start questioning and not taking, when a service guy who's inexperienced, who you're paying to be experienced, damages your property. I think you should hold him accountable the way we did. That's the lesson there. John, what do you think?
Yeah, it's kind of sad. We were, back up and explain. In the metro area now, with this digital TV, you can get 80 channels now over the air. Still nothing on, but you get more channels. And one of them is a classic game show network showing game shows from the 50s through the 80s. And one of these is I've Got a Secret. It's so old, it's in black and white, from the late 50s, early 60s.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And it has some of the original commercials embedded. And there was this one playing where, and you have to keep in mind, back then, you had normal families with a mom, dad, and kids, and it was a single car family. Well, mom and the daughter needed the car. Dad needed the car for work. So the solution was go rent a car from Hertz. And it was an all-inclusive price that even included oil and gas. And I just think, how different are things today? They've turned that into a way of making money off the customer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, now it doesn't include insurance, and it doesn't include gas, and if you have to put oil in it, it's on you, right?
Things have changed in the last 50 years.
Yeah, and the reason I told the story about this John Deere dealership is because And I said, "This is John Deere, isn't it?" I mean, I mentioned that to the store manager, like, this is the Mercedes-Benz of farm equipment. And, you guys charge a lot of money for your everything. For everything in the store, it's more expensive than other places. And I said, so you're going to do the right thing, right? I mean, that was the implied message that I expected him to take care of it. What he didn't tell him was I was going to talk about it no matter what he did. But that's the new I guess the new normal, that you do the absolute minimum. And I saw over the last week, I saw installations of air conditioning systems and above ground pools and decks and roofs and gutters, and so I was looking around, and what we've really done is we've allowed people to improve our houses. We pay them for home improvements and repairs, and they do a lousy job. It's all covered up, and you can't tell until later when it rains, and the gutters come off because they're poor quality products, poorly installed. Nobody has a level. The gutters run the wrong way, so the water runs away from the downspout instead of toward the downspout. It's just amazing what we put up with. And here at the farm, Mrs. Finelli, will say, "Look at my list of things to do," and I'm way behind on this list. However, each thing that we do is done right. And it takes a lot longer to do it right than it does to just slap it together. And I'm not willing to just slap it together, so I'm behind on everything. I'm frustrated, John. I really am.
Let's... I'm going to take a risk here and start off with button pushers.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, you talked about cops and making money earlier. Well, you've got a town in Iowa, Van Meter, that's raffling off chances to tase. There's 2 police that have volunteered for this. So it's $5 a ticket. And I got to thinking, hey, this is really a great way for all these, local communities to make money. Instead of just doing a raffle, you just go in, $50 and, tase the defective of your choice. And the towns make money, and people get stress relief, and it's just good for everybody.
I kind of like it. Now, can you set this thing to high power, or is it set on tickle? Is it set on tickle, or is it set on maximum power? I'm looking at this post, John. I don't participate in lotteries. I don't buy lottery tickets. I don't gamble. But if I could go and pay $5 to tase Chris Hurd, the city manager of Lebanon, Missouri, I might say, well, how many tickets do you guys have? I would be interested to seeing at what level he starts wetting his pants. I mean, seriously, I'm not kidding. I'd like to. I'm interested in buying raffle tickets to tase these elected representatives and these unelected representatives. I think it should be done once a week. Maybe that's not enough. Maybe every day. Maybe every day there should be another person coming in, the winner of a raffle. Actually, just forget the raffle. Just buy your opportunity to tase the thug of your choice. And you know what I bet would not happen? I'll bet most firemen would not be tased. Now, in Lebanon, it'd probably be an exception because those guys came and disrupted our expo. By the way, I got a call from the finance assistant director of finance for the city of Lebanon. He said, "Mr. Finelli," and I said, "Hey, I'm so glad you called. I've been looking all over for your check." He's like, "Check?" I said, "Yeah, you guys destroyed our expo, and I'm expecting to be compensated for it. I'm looking all over for your check. What do you want?" They think I'm going to pay them. They've lost their minds. We'll be right back. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Have you ever felt like the United States government knows way too much about your financial affairs? I continue to hear stories about property seizures, frozen bank accounts, confiscation of stocks and bonds. It makes me wonder if the U.S. citizen will ever again have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Unfortunately, with the Drug and Money Laundering Act, the IRS Revenue Ruling 6045 of 1984, and the Trading with the Enemy Act and Franklin D. Roosevelt's Executive Order of 1933, some precious metal holdings are subject to government intervention. For this reason, Midas Resources has prepared a report explaining the boundaries of trading precious metals privately. Whether if you have any intention of trading with Midas Resources or not, I have instructed my representatives to give this report out free. Call for your free copy at 1-800-686-2237. When investing, always proceed with caution. Again, call 1-800-686-2237. Exercise your legal right to trade metals privately. 1-800-686-2237.
We live in a complicated society. Stressful issues are always popping up. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone? Have you ever been overcharged for a repair? Have you ever signed a contract or a document? Worried about identity theft? How many times have you been in those unique situations where you just wanted to call an attorney to find out if you're right or wrong, or what your legal rights are? But every time you think about calling an attorney, what do you think about first? That's right. Who do you call, and how much will it cost? Our friends at Legal Shield have found a solution. With a nationwide network of 6,900 attorneys who average over 19 years of experience, Legal Shield's law firms take over 40,000 calls per week helping their members. For less than $20 per month, you can have access to Legal Shield on everything from the trivial to the traumatic. Let Legal Shield stand up for your rights at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com. Or call 855-340-SAVE. 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
If you're worried about your health and you're tired of the nasty side effects of harsh drugs or antibiotics, then look no further. Supernatural Silver is the answer. Supernatural Silver is a powerful immune system enhancer that can be used every day to help keep you healthy and well with none of those nasty side effects. It's extremely safe for use internally as well as topically, and Supernatural Silver is hundreds of times more effective than colloidal or ionic silver. It is perfect for use in the sinuses, eyes, ears, and on any wound or skin issue. Supernatural Silver is also extremely effective when taken orally and can help fight off bacteria, viruses, and mold that may be overwhelming your immune system. Go to supernaturalsilver.com, supernaturalsilver.com, and use the promo code SILVER2015 for 30% off of your entire order, and give yourself and your loved ones a fighting chance with Supernatural Silver.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Class, meet up tonight. Meet up tonight at Jimmy's Egg, 4:45 to 8 p.m. on Battlefield Road in Springfield, Missouri. Air conditioning 102. Tim Latimer and I will be talking about air conditioning. Linus Ertley is back in town. He's in town from Texas after spending a lot of time there after the storms. He's a insurance adjuster, and he's going to be telling us what he saw. Why? Because we need to know what happens, the ravages of the storms, the ravages of the flooding and so forth, and be better prepared to deal with it right here. So that's tonight. Meet up. Air conditioning 102. And if Michael Hicks brings his vehicle, I'm going to recharge it and show the class how you can recharge it for about $10 with a Freon replacement, which is called EnviroSafe, propane and butane mixture. Way colder, way more efficient than the standard R134A. John Regan, back to you.
The other item I have for button pushers is immoral dumping. The United States is producing a record amount of milk and dumping the leftovers. And we're talking about, just from this article here, this dairy association so far dumped 600,000 pounds. And, I'm thinking, gee, you could freeze dry that and can it and have, some great stuff to put in your, preparations. But no, that's just being wasted. And the flip side of that, too, I'm looking at the price of milk in the stores. If we have this much more supply than demand, which would normally drive prices down, what the heck is inflation nowadays?
John, we had right in our county here a couple of years ago, there was a farmer, and he was invaded by the government, and they said, Missouri government, and he had to destroy all of his cheese. He had about $300,000 worth of cheese. And I called him up, and I said, look, I understand the sheriff's coming. He's going to take your cheese to the landfill. And I said, how does this make any sense at all? What about, okay, let's say it is contaminated. What about, let's say it does have bacteria. Well, dogs and cats can eat this. Why can't it be pet food? And he said, you know what? I'm just tired of fighting it. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, USA Preparedness will be there. We will be armed. We will stand between you and the sheriff. We'll be there tomorrow morning. Would you like us to show up? And he said, no, I'm just tired. This has been going on a long time. I'm just tired. I'm just going to give up. So he gave up. He's out of business. They took $300,000 worth of cheese. They put it to the landfill. And the sheriff should be ashamed of himself. Absolutely ashamed of himself. But this farmer gave up. And it just bothers me to throw things away. Here at the farm, I don't throw anything away. If I can't figure out another use for it, that's when I discard it. But if I can use it for heat, it goes into the outdoor wood furnace. I mean, I don't burn things that will be bad for the environment. I don't burn plastic bags and things like that. But if it's a rag and it's made of natural materials, cotton, I'll burn that when there's no other use for it. Yeah, really. John, you're absolutely right. It's outrageous.
And just try and finish off real quick with government smarts here. We do have a candidate suitable for stupid voters. And just a reminder, stupid voters is a term that Jonathan Gruber used. And we've got Hillary's emails that shows that she didn't know when cabinet meetings were held, didn't know how to work a fax machine, and emailed aides to fetch her iced tea. So, seems like the perfect candidate for the stupid
president. Yeah. As a matter of fact, John, did you hear that story read that story about how the University of Missouri at Kansas City wanted to have a woman speaker, and they contacted Hillary, but it was so expensive. It was like $250,000 for her to speak. $250,000 to hear a woman speak who wants to be president of the United States. So they said, no, we can't afford her. Chelsea Clinton. We can get her for $65,000. So they hired Chelsea Clinton for $65,000 to speak for 20 minutes. Now, exactly what does Chelsea Clinton bring to the party? Sounds to me like this is just another way of bribing someone who could possibly be a president. Imagine that. If you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food, do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Hey neighbor, what are you doing digging? You had a heart attack last year.
Oh, I know. I was told no more hard labor.
Then why are you digging?
Well, I've been taking Extendovite. It's been approved to help my heart.
Extendovite? Is that a new drug?
No, not a drug. It's more like an herbal combination made from garlic and cayenne.
Herbal? How can that help?
Well, actually, we've taken herbs for thousands of years, and Extendovite is doing the job for me.
Does your doctor know about Extendovite?
Yeah, my doctor knows, and he said it seems to be working for you, so don't stop taking it. I feel great taking Extendovite. I don't want to stop.
To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
All right, so suddenly Walmart, eBay, Amazon, everybody wants to ban the rebel flag. Well, the rebel flag is an important part of American history. The rebel flag is still a long-standing symbol of Southern pride and Southern heritage. So if the big retailers want to play into political correctness and try to deny the history of America, let them. Go to ourflags.com, that's R like rebel, R, the letter R, ourflags.com. Get your rebel flag before they actually do outlaw the things, huh? Ourflags.com, that's ourflags.com. Go now.
It's a terrifying thought. You're trapped somewhere without a radio and no access to GCN shows. A doctor's office, the DMV, your mother-in-law's.
Come on, stay for dinner.
That's what makes the newly redesigned GCN Live app a true lifesaver. Listen to your favorite GCN hosts and programming on your smartphone, wherever you are. Download yours free on iTunes or Google Play. The new GCN Live app. Don't leave home without it.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked. Here we go. Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com with Captain John Regan. You know, top of the hour news where I heard that there was a piece that said the U.S. economy is going to expand 2.5% second quarter. Huh. How do they know? How do they know? And I just heard a commercial for, well, they call it the rebel flag. I'd call it the Confederate battle flag. But, you know, when they come to the house and you start reading the report of what they found here at the Finelli farm, you know, they may say, wow, we found a Japanese meatball flag from World War II. We found a pre-World War II Italian flag from the 1930s. We found a Nazi flag. We found a Confederate flag. We found a 48-star United States of America flag. And we found a 50-state United States of America flag. Can you imagine that? So what's the problem? What's the problem with the Confederate flag? I don't quite understand. John?
Well, you know, the Confederate flag stands for states' rights, and we certainly can't have that in America today.
Yeah. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was all about states' rights. And, you know, I did live in Virginia in the South, and you know, when the North came down, they really hammered the South. They burned They burned the villages, they burned the farms, they destroyed the animals, they killed the animals, they did everything they could to beat up on the South.
And among the things they don't bother teaching in school is that if you look at the time, slavery was already on the way out. The age of industrialization was kicking in, and it really wasn't that much longer down the road when it was much cheaper to use equipment like tractors in the field rather than people, whether they're slave or free, because it's less money and less trouble. And we're getting ready to see a similar transition with other jobs now, where the computers take over, whether it's robots or robots with artificial intelligence.
And that's a great concern, because what's going to happen to the people who want to earn a living, to provide for their families, to do better than their parents? What's going to happen to them when they can't find jobs? Our son, over the weekend, our son was talking to some farmers, and he said, there's a class right in our hamlet where I can learn how to shoe horses. I can take this class and I can learn how to shoe horses. And I just want you to think about this class. Our son, who is a pretty bright guy. He's a very bright guy. He's working his way through school. He's working construction. He's building dormitories. He's forming concrete, finishing concrete, laying tile. I mean, all kinds of really hard work. He's doing all that, and he's thinking, I think I should. And he volunteered to work at a veterinarian's office, so he did that during the summer, so he could learn about how to castrate, how to pregnancy check, how to give animals injections, and now he wants to learn how to shoe horses. It's, you'll have to show me one other young person who says, hey, I'd love to do something really hard, something that's, you're out in the sun, you can get kicked by a horse, you can get really hurt, but, I think that'd be great. I think that'd be a good thing to learn. We're getting away from this, John. We're getting away from learning how to do things. How to frame buildings with wood, how to frame buildings with steel studs, how to wire, plumb, roof, set up concrete forms, how to finish concrete. We're getting away from all that. Someone else is going to do that. But what happens when nobody knows how to do anything? And I think that's where we're going. I really do. I'm really worried about it. Like the guy who tried to work on my hydraulic cylinder. Obviously, someone didn't show him how. And we have lost the ability, or we've lost the desire, or we've lost the plan where we have the master craftsman who teaches the novice how to do it. And you learn by doing and watching and participating from the master. We don't have that anymore, at least as far as I can tell.
Hey, it's really hard texting and driving.
Well, heck, we don't have to worry about driving anymore. Really. Pretty soon it will be unaffordable, and for those who can afford, they'll have self-driving vehicles. You won't even have to learn how to do that. John, I said to our son, I'm looking forward to him coming over, and he has a girlfriend, and I said, let's put her car up on the lift here on the farm. Let's show her the underneath of this car. Let's show her how the brakes work. Let's show her how the steering system works. Let's show her all of the systems that make this automobile of hers work. And next time she needs an oil change, we'll have her do it, and we'll show her how it goes. And because she's never done that, and I think it's absolutely required that you know how the basics of an automobile work. I really do. Here's another thing. Show me a young person who's, let's say, 20 years old or so, who has not had an automobile accident. Show me one. I mean, I can show you one. That'd be our son and our other son. But other than that, can you show me one? It's hard to find someone who has not been in an automobile accident. Why is that? Because they don't know about friction. They don't know about traction. They don't know about the things that are necessary to know about to operate a car safely. They don't know those things because they haven't been taught. And that little class in driver's ed is nowhere near enough. Now, if a child starts out with a little go-kart, let's say age 7, 6, and there's a safe place to ride them, they'll learn about skidding and traction and braking and all kinds of things. But we don't do that anymore. It's too dangerous, I guess. Our son started out with a motorcycle at age 4. No exaggeration. There was a guy in the next town over that was selling a Honda 50Z, little 8-inch wheels. There's a 4-cycle engine, 3-speed semi-automatic transmission. And our son could hardly touch the ground while sitting on this very small motorcycle. And I taught him how to ride it. He's been riding motorcycles ever since he was 4 years old. That's how he checked the cows during this flood. He had a massive flood here. He had to go 20 miles on a dirt bike. Some might say it was illegal. I don't care. We had stuff to do. We had animals to check. It was an emergency. I don't care whether it's legal or not. His mother said, well, what if the police stop him? I said, just wave and keep going. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. That's what I said. Well, before he left, I said, okay, let's make sure you have everything you need. You need to fill up this tank full of fuel. It's a 2-cycle dirt bike. And I said, fill up the oil reservoir to make sure you have enough oil because it's going to be like a 20-mile trip. Literally. And it has knobby tires, and he was able to go through all the mud and the grass and, climb over the rocks and everything he needed to do to make this trip to check the cows. That's what we do. We're not going to let suggestions get in our way by the blue plague. What's next?
Let me run through the financial news here, and I will see what you want to discuss. We've got health insurance companies planning on, or at least seeking rate increases between 20 to 40% or more, which ought to put a nice big damper on Q1 of next year. We've got silver production down, with the largest silver producer down a whopping 12%. We've been talking about the smart money getting out of stocks, and I've got a chart here of cash flow by client type. The institutional has really been pulling cash out of the market. Hedge funds have been pulling cash out. The only ones that's still putting cash in are the private clients. If you think Greece is over, I've got a chart here that shows what they owe by year going through 2057. We've also started talking about Puerto Rico. And to give an idea, the exposure to the United States, yes, there's $350 billion that Greece currently owes, but only about $14 billion is owed to U.S. institutions. Puerto Rico's different. Their $73 billion debt is basically owed to U.S. institutions, and there's 180 mutual funds in the United States and elsewhere that have at least 5% of their portfolios in Puerto Rican bonds. I've got a link, LTV 137. That's the loan to value ratio, 137% for used cars, meaning every used car that is sold by loan out there, they're loaning much more, basically over a third more than what the car is actually worth, and a lot of that's going to subprime borrowers. So no problem coming down the road there. We've got some entrepreneurial people in California. Housing prices there are out of sight. So now you can have an opportunity to rent a tent for $900 a month. And we've talked about how gasoline usage is down a bit. Well, apparently it's the same thing with electricity. So where do you want to go with that?
John, I'd like to start with a loan to value with used cars. And I'd just like to preface this. I mentioned that hour number one that I bought this used truck for $3,000. And one of the things I said to the person, here's what happened. The truck was out in Kansas City. And I said, oh, okay, well, I can get out there. And I said, well, are you heading this way? He said, I'll tell you what, I can meet you in Columbia, Missouri. I said, okay, give me a day or so. It looks like I really want this thing. If it's what you say it is, I believe I'm going to buy it. He said, okay. Let's figure out in the next day or so, where we're going to meet. He said he would be in Columbia, Missouri on Thursday and Friday. And I said, okay, I'll call you back and we'll arrange a time to meet. And we did. I'll tell you how the rest of that story, and it all deals with used cars. We'll be right back. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Hi, this is Steve Sanchez, and based on a recent study, it was found that 57 million Americans had legal issues over the last 12 months, but only 60% of those studied sought out the services of a lawyer. Why? In a nutshell, affordability. Well, my friends at Legal Shield have created a solution that can help you not if, but when you need an attorney. For as little as $17 per month, Legal Shield will provide you unlimited access to qualified attorneys at an accomplished law firm for advice and counsel on legal issues, no matter how serious or trivial. For over 40 years and with 1.4 million families across North America, Legal Shield can help you, the loyal GCN listener. Representatives are standing by now to answer your questions, so call them now at 1-855-340-SAVE. That's 1-855-340-7283, or visit them at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com.
Results will vary from case to case.
Healthy elimination is essential to high energy, a cheerful mood, and prevention of disease. Some of the founders of our modern holistic health thinking state that disease begins in a toxic colon. A toxic intestinal tract is the foundation for virtually all degenerative disease, and a clean and well-moving intestinal tract is the foundation of health.
I just want to say that you folks have an amazing product. I've taken whey protein products for years, and I've never noticed the results I have with your product. I've suffered with bouts of constipation most of my life. Within a few days of taking One World Whey, I noticed a dramatic change. Also, in the past few years, I've experienced symptoms associated with diabetes. I feel horrible when I've had too much sugar, and I've been getting the foot pain as well. But I've noticed in the past week or so, I'm not feeling bad anymore, and the foot pain is gone. I'm just finishing up a 5-pound tub I ordered and just got off the phone ordering more. I love your product. Thank you.
Call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldway.com. That's oneworld.com.
Have you ever wondered if you could make electric, light, or heat in your home for free? How about a motor that charges batteries at the same time? What if this also restores useless batteries and saves you lots of money? Come to our Renaissance Charge Conference workshop on August 15th and 16th in Fort Lauderdale. Visit r-charge.com. That's r-charge.com for details, or call 208-304-2954. 208-304-2954.
All right, so suddenly Walmart, eBay, Amazon, everybody wants to ban the rebel flag. Well, the rebel flag is an important part of American history. The rebel flag is still a long-standing symbol of Southern pride and Southern heritage. So if the big retailers want to play into political correctness and try to deny the history of America, let them. Go to rflags.com. That's R like rebel, R, the letter R, rflags.com. Get your rebel flag before they actually do outlaw the things, huh? rflags.com. That's rflags.com. Go now.
Captain John Regan's with us, thefinancialstateoftheunion.com, thefinancialstateoftheunion.com. John, we're talking about loan to value, 137% on used cars. So what I did on Friday was, I talked to this gentleman who was selling this vehicle. He happened to be a dealer. And he said, I can meet you in Columbia, Missouri instead of Kansas City. I thought, well, it's a little closer. That sounds great. So he said, I'll bring the truck out there. And I said, all right. He sent me the Carfax. I looked at it. I had some questions for him. He answered all my questions. And I said, okay, we'll meet. We arranged a time to meet after the broadcast. My son and I drove out. And we looked over the truck. And I said, okay, I'd like to buy it. And we agreed that he would take a check, which is kind of unusual, right? He accepted my check. So I bought the truck for $3,000. And here's the thing. After the transaction was over, I just said, I just got one question. One final question. How many people whom you deal with actually do what they say they're going to do? What he did was he was willing to wait for me hours. He was willing to stay extra time in Columbia instead of going back to Kansas City to his business. And he was expecting that I was actually going to show up. And what I did was I said, okay, I'll call you and I'll let you know when I'm leaving. I'll let you know partially way through the trip what my ETA is, so that you know. And we ran into some traffic and some accidents and things like that, and we were delayed about an hour. But I gave him progress reports, and so after it was all done, it was a very smooth transaction. I looked at the truck, our son looked at it, we looked underneath it, we drove it and all that kind of stuff that you would expect. And it took us about probably an hour to look at the truck, test drive it, and decide whether we're going to buy it. We wrote him a check, and I asked him, how many people actually do what they say they're going to do? Meaning, how many people actually say they're going to show up, and don't misrepresent that they can actually buy the vehicle, and actually live up to what they say they're going to do as a customer. I was shocked, absolutely shocked at what he said. He said 4%. Can you imagine that? Only 4% of the people who he deals with actually do what they say they're going to do. It's horrible.
In some ways, I'm surprised it's that high.
Can you imagine, John? I mean, that's how far we have fallen. And this is not. These are people who call him up. He's not cold calling and saying, hey, you want to buy a car? You want to buy a truck? Hey, you want to buy a car? You want to buy a truck? These are people who are calling him. He answers their questions. He sends them the Carfax, whatever they want, gives them all the information, and it was quite accurate. And only 4% of we, the villagers, actually do what we say we're going to do. It's outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Michael from New York, you're on with Captain John Regan and me, Vin Finelli. Welcome.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. I just wanted to mention real quick regarding your comment reporting on a quote that the experts claim the economy's going to expand. 2%, I think you said? Yes. It's true, Vincent. I believe it's even going to expand more. But it's going to be in a downward direction. That's the little detail they left out, the direction it's going in.
You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. John Regan said in his report that we are now lending 137% of the value of a vehicle. We're lending 37% more than the vehicle is worth. And if you look, this truck is actually a learning lesson. It really is. Why did I buy this truck? It was a 2004 model truck for $3,000. Now, that seems to me like it's a pretty good deal. But you could buy a 2004 car for $3,000, more often. But you can't buy a truck. Trucks seem to really hold their value. And heck, if it was a 2004 Jeep, it would probably be $8,000 to $10,000 for a little CJ or Wrangler Jeep. But you're right. You're right. The economy is going in a down direction, and it's harder to get customers. How hard is it to get customers that can buy something? Well, you have to give them 37% more than what the vehicle is worth in order to get them to buy it. Isn't that the takeaway from this, John?
It's either that or we need to take more money from the people.
Michael, did you have something else?
I was just going to say quick, too, it all reminds me of the subterfuge, how they present the statistics. When Obama said a few years ago, we're creating more jobs, and it's like, that's all true, but he failed to specify that it was in Red China.
You're absolutely right.
Now, a twice as nice Twin Kit special offer from Complete H2O Minerals for all GCN listeners. Get a Complete H2O Minerals Twin Kit with 33 different minerals, vitamins, and amino acids all in a liquid form. Enough for 2 people for 1 month. Regular price $89.95, but now Complete H2O Minerals is offering the Twin Kit for $69.95. And all GCN listeners receive a bonus 16-ounce bottle of Ionic Silver absolutely free with free shipping. A $120 total value. Hurry, limited time offer. Call 803-794-4767 or click CompleteH2OMinerals.com.
All right, so suddenly Walmart, eBay, Amazon, everybody wants to ban the rebel flag. Well, the rebel flag is an important part of American history. The rebel flag is still a long-standing symbol of Southern pride and Southern heritage. So if the big retailers want to play into political correctness and try to deny the history of America, let them. Go to ourflags.com, that's R like rebel, R, the letter R, ourflags.com. Get your rebel flag before they actually do outlaw the things, huh? Ourflags.com, that's ourflags.com. Go now.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine, there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Hi, my name is Scott Fuchs, teacher and rowing coach for over 14 years. I was sluggish, overweight, on prescription drugs, and only 30-something. Fortunately, I was referred to Dr. Z, and happy to say Dr. Z's all-natural protocols over a consistent course resolved my health issues. I'm in the best shape of my life, and most importantly, on 0 medications.
I'm Dr. Stanowski, author of Evology, trained as a primary care physician, surgical manipulation under anesthesia, expert in nutrition, diet, weight loss, immune system, and I specialize in chiropractic. My 15 years of professional experience has taught me the 4 keys to vibrant health: a balanced musculoskeletal system, an integrated nervous system, a flowing lymphatic system, and a body filled with over 90 essential nutrients. This has been a secret too long. Actualize your potential, reverse disease. Call me, Dr. Z. 201-945-1177, 201-945-1177, evolyourself.com.
Usually, the older one gets, the less you are able to absorb amino acids and the less you are able to repair the 100 trillion cells of your body. As a result, you'll have less energy, your tissues will shrink, and you'll become wrinkled. An older person will typically injure more easily and heal more slowly. Not fun. However, if you could consume a protein powder that is easier to absorb, then you may be able to gain back some strength, muscle, and speed of recovery. One World Whey is a highly digestible whey protein powder that may be the perfect answer for you.
My name is Errol. I'm 74 years old. You know, the taste of One World Whey is amazing. I play pickleball, and since taking One World Whey and your trace mineral supplement, I have more energy and recover faster from my working out. I used to take another grass-fed whey protein powder, but now I'm getting much better results using One World Whey.
Call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldway.com.
Captain John Regan's with us, U.S. Air Force Reserves retired, and Michael from New York is with us. Mike, you were talking about the economy.
Well, yes, guys, I was just saying at the break how it's amazing when these guys provide us with some information and we can read between the lines because we're educated. We know really what they're saying. So, example again, when Obama said, we're creating a lot of jobs. Things are booming. Yeah, just doesn't mention the little fact that it's all in red China. And so, they say it with a smirk because they know exactly what they're saying. They just leave out those little details that deceive the sheeple over here who believe he's referring to us. But real quick, gentlemen, I just want to ask first if you guys are noticing that we're not seeing hardly any produce like we used to coming in from the old bread basket of the world, California. And number two, Captain John, based on the current economy of the world, China's having a stock market crash. Greece is going to walk away from the false debt, and all of this is coming into play, looking like things are going to really tank globally for the economy. When do you think the big wave from all that will finally hit our shores?
The way the picture's looking to me, I would not be surprised to see a 1929 style event this fall. But again, looking at history, keep in mind 1929 was not the worst of things. You then had, the pain increasing, which then started increasing at an increasing rate, so that by 1933 things were really bad. I don't think it's going to take 4 years for that more bug hit the windshield type event, but I pretty much am expecting to see some major corrections by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. Which will then set the stage for the hard times to follow, like you said, within a year or two after that, maybe 3 after that.
Right, and that dovetails in my analysis of Jade Helm. I believe it's a beta test. They're wanting to tune up the artificial intelligence so that when things do get nasty, it's ready to go. Right now, we don't have the pain here in America. Once we get to be like Greece, where people are hungry, they're going to be, demanding the government fix things. And that's when it gets really dangerous.
Yes, sir. And based on that, what you guys were covering with the AI and no more vehicle cars or anything allowed for us, or it'll all be automated. And so, guys, I'm thinking there's always opportunities. We know that. And when it all gets down to that point and we're not allowed to drive automobiles and be independent like that, and the economy's totally dead, I think we can start a brand new economy with rickshaws and use it. We can generate taxi services, all kinds of transportation with rickshaws. In fact, heck, we could even have the new NASCAR races will be rickshaws probably.
Michael, what you're saying is obviously tongue in cheek, but just to add a little bit more seriousness to it, we've talked about the bonus army, and back in World War I, some of our soldiers were offered a bonus to stay on board and keep fighting, because it looked like the war was going to continue a little longer. Well, after World War I, we had our stock market crash in 1929. As John Regan said, it got worse and worse, and it continued to get worse. Well, in the spring and summer of 1932, about 43,000 marchers, 17,000 of them that were World War I veterans, and their families gathered in Washington to demand the cash payment redemption of their certificates, which were the bonuses that they were promised for fighting for another year in World War I. Well, they were denied those bonuses, and they were fired upon. So these marchers, of whom 17,000 of them were World War I veterans, were fired upon by, that'd be some of our our generals.
MacArthur.
MacArthur, Dwight David Eisenhower, and General George S. Patton. So as we discuss it getting worse, I just wanted to put in perspective, it got worse just as John Regan was saying, that the bonus army wasn't demanding their bonus because they didn't need it. It's because they were starving. Their families were starving. They were homeless, and they had no other choice but to go to Washington to say, look, we need.
Well, even back then, too, it proves how the government has been a bunch of liars. To our own brave men that fought supposedly for the freedom, so those large fat cats down there in the capitals can have their luxurious lifestyle, and they don't even honor them with the promises they made. Let alone being the hard times, the bonuses should have been doubled at that point in time. But yet they fired upon them. Every time when I hear about that, it just rips my heart out of my chest because, if you don't respect men that are risking everything in battle so that the people back home are safe and sound, then you don't deserve to live in that country. That's my attitude on that. But anyway, Captain John, real quick too, and I'll let you guys get back to it, but would you say that the current final cost of, after mining and then smelting and then minting silver, would be somewhere around $24 an ounce? I believe you said a while back. Now, if that's still the case, and where it's at now with the spot market price, and that's obviously affecting probably one of the reasons of the output, would you still feel very confident that that's a sound investment for the future?
It's definitely going to be better than paper. And short-term wise, once paper gold and silver go away, the real gold and silver should have value for a little bit. However, once the supply chain goes away, I don't think gold and silver are going to be worth very much at all until normalcy returns, which may take several lifetimes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, it's going to be very interesting times then, gentlemen.
Michael, thank you so much.
Thank you. And I would just say real quick, though, John, on that it's always been the premium value of material wealth on the planet next to food and land. So even under those conditions you just cited, I still would think that it would be extremely valuable due to its being even more rare than it is currently. And being what it is intrinsically, I would expect it always to have tremendous purchasing power under such conditions as that you just mentioned. But I guess time will tell on that. And gentlemen, you keep up the great work, and God bless.
Thank you so much, Michael. John, I was at a seminar. I did a latest seminar on how to start your own business and take the same tax deductions that the rich take, and then I talked about the big lies. And one of the things that I did during that seminar was I held up two ammo cans, two military surplus ammo cans. One was a 50 caliber ammo can, and the other was a 30 caliber. And I said, okay, these are, right now, you can get them for $8 a piece for the 30s and $10 for the 50s. I said, I have these, and I bought them. I bought 15 of them. Right there actually I bought 30 of them. I bought 15 of each size. And I said, you can put valuable things in here. You can put nuts and bolts and screws. I mean, you don't want those things to rust. And because hardware is really, really expensive. And you can put all kinds of things in these ammo cans, besides ammo. And I said, how many of you think that you can get all the ammo you want in the future? How many of you think you can get all the ammo you want in the future? Let me say it a different way. Nobody. Nobody thinks they're going to be able to get all the ammo they want in the future. So what I did was I bought 15 and 15, and I'm putting nuts and bolts and screws and washers and all kinds of things that I don't want to deteriorate over time. Because I don't believe I'm going to be able to get all the things that we want. And I'm using them to create toolboxes on tractors. I'm going to bolt them to the side of the tractor where I can have nuts and bolts and screws and wrenches and the things that I need to have with me to save a trip back to the farm. And put wrenches and socket sets and those kinds of things and take them with me and put them in the cars and trucks. So for $8 and $10, you can't get anything as durable as these ammo cans. So what I'm saying is John, I think things are going to get worse. I really believe it, and I believe it's going to get harder to get the things that we need. And I think that you need to get them, and I think you need to have a place for them. And I said, if you want to know about silver, you can put about $500 worth of 500 face dollars worth of silver at 90% silver in a 30 caliber ammo can. So for $8, you can have a safe place to put your silver. Now, just make sure it's concealed. And for the big ammo cans, you can put a bag of silver in, which is $1,000 face. That would fit in a 50 caliber ammo can, but it's going to weigh 77 or so pounds. So what you need is something that you can actually pick up and it won't fall apart. You can't buy anything at the Chinese factory outlet for $10 that will hold 77 pounds. So this is the answer. So I suggest that we consider buying ammo cans for all kinds of purposes. Okay? Even if you're going to go buy pennies and put copper pennies in them, put them in an ammo can and keep them for a long time. They've got a gasket and it'll keep air out. They'll preserve them for a long time. Just make sure they're dry. Keep them in the sun and make sure that you've evaporated all the moisture that may be in the can before you put your valuables in it. Back to you, John Regan.
Well, let me expand on my answer a little bit there. Probably over the next couple of years, gold and silver is a way of protecting your assets. That said, before you throw cash into gold and silver, you should have your food and water taken care of first. And it's like I've discussed before. I see one of two ways this goes. We either have the collapse and go into war, in which case I'm seeing famine at a level not even seen during the Great Depression, and food would be so scarce. Who would be stupid enough to give it up for something like gold and silver that you can't eat? And the other direction is we end up with a police state, in which case they're going to want to push people into electronic currency as soon as possible. So it doesn't matter if you have gold and silver. They're going to be monitoring everything so that you can't even barter the way you used to. It's called the Internet of Things. You know, monitoring people, everything they do 24 hours a day.
Very good points. And I like gold, I like silver, but I like tractors and farmland and seeds and food and tools better. I really do. For the same reasons that you've expressed. However, if you still have an excess, I think it's a better play than currency. I really do. So tools and equipment, knowledge, books. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
On the average, Americans work between 45 to 50 years, hoping to build up enough wealth to retire and live out their golden years. Unfortunately, with taxation, the rising cost of food, energy, housing, and medical, many retirees are forced to live below the poverty line. Is this a flaw free enterprise, or is our monetary unit we call the Federal Reserve Note forcing us into perpetual debt, ensuring inflation and higher taxes? These questions and more can be answered by reading G. Edward Griffin's book, The Creature from Jekyll Island. Congressman Ron Paul states it's what every American needs to know about central bank power. A gripping adventure into the secret world of international banking cartel. Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I will give a silver dollar from the early 1900s to anyone who purchases this book. Call 1-800-686-2237 and order a copy today. It's critical that the public be made aware of the system. Call and order your copy today at 1-800-686-2237. That's 1-800-686-2237.
Many are in disbelief today after word of shocking allegations against a Minnesota-based talk syndication company known as GCN. It's claimed that they're the fourth largest talk syndication company in the U.S., making it even more scandalous that they've been accused of helping business owners expose themselves on a massive scale. Let's go live to Tom for more on this story.
It's being called the greatest exposure of our lifetime, while other business owners are beginning to step forward claiming they too exposed themselves with the help of GCN.
It's true, they're all guilty, every last one of them. GCN helped me get the exposure my company needed, and just think, that was years ago. Today, GCN has like 700 affiliate stations and over 6 million downloads from iTunes and their website every month.
Imagine the exposure your company can get. Expose your business to the masses. Email advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective. GCN.
Healthy elimination is essential to high energy, a cheerful mood, and prevention of disease. Some of the founders of our modern holistic health thinking state that disease begins in a toxic colon. The toxic intestinal tract is the foundation for virtually all degenerative disease, and a clean and well-moving intestinal tract is the foundation of health.
I just want to say that you folks have an amazing product. I've taken whey protein products for years, and I've never noticed the results I have with your product. I've suffered with bouts of constipation most of my life. Within a few days of taking One World Whey, I noticed a dramatic change. Also, in the past few years, I've experienced symptoms associated with diabetes. I feel horrible when I've had too much sugar, and I've been getting the foot pain as well. But I've noticed in the past week or so, I'm not feeling bad anymore, and the foot pain is gone. I'm just finishing up a 5-pound tub I ordered and just got off the phone ordering more. I love your product. Thank you.
Call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworld.com.
Honey, it's time for dinner. What are you doing over there on your computer?
I'm shopping for a new wallet. Mine is falling apart. Hey, did you know there's a company called ID Stronghold that makes shielded wallets to prevent electronic pickpocketing?
Oh, I didn't realize there was such a thing as electronic pickpocketing. What is that?
Well, apparently, many of the new credit and debit cards being issued have radio chips inside them called RFID that transmit our banking information to card readers when we pay. Unfortunately, a bad guy can also get one of these readers and go around the city scanning people, collecting their credit card numbers and personal information without us knowing it.
Wow, that sounds scary. Since you're getting a new wallet anyway, you should definitely get an ID Stronghold shielded wallet. Are they more expensive?
No. In fact, I can get a shielded leather wallet from IDStronghold.com for the same price or less than regular unshielded wallets from other stores.
Sounds great. My wallet isn't falling apart yet, but let me pick one out too. I want to be protected, and these wallets at IDStronghold.com look fantastic.
Captain John Regan's with us, thefinancialstateoftheunion.com class meetup tonight at Jimmy's Egg, 4:45 to 8. We'll be talking about air conditioning 102, how to recharge your automobile air conditioning system. And Linus will be with us, Linus Early. He'll be talking about what happened in Texas with the storms. Mike in Tennessee, Mike Parsons, welcome.
Good morning, gentlemen. As we've all been trained for a long time, that the last official act of any corrupt government is to loot the Treasury, but sometimes they just kill off the creditor. Now, let me give you a hypothesis. Let's say you've got a mortgage, and it requires that the repayment be in U.S. dollars. The dollar crashes, so you trade in your commodities for worthless Federal Reserve notes that the mortgage company's been taking all along as payments in place of U.S. dollars, which don't exist. And so you pay off your Federal Reserve note-funded mortgage. Well, that's great. You've got a paid-off mortgage, but in the event as it could be, as I predict, as I think they're going to do, they're just going to release the hounds, and in that case, all bets are off.
Mike, can you be more specific in what you're saying?
Regarding which point of this?
Well, are you saying that you're going to pay the note off with Federal Reserve notes, and then all of a sudden that the creditors are going to say, you know what, you paid him with Federal Reserve notes, but that's not U.S. currency, so you have
your note is what your note is. If it says U.S. dollars and they've been accepting Federal Reserve notes, then you can argue that as a pattern of behavior, they've accepted your Federal Reserve notes. If they do away with Federal Reserve notes and go to something else, then your mortgage company is going to argue, and the courts are probably going to side with them, that they have to go with what is a value-based note or currency. And as they did in the Weimar Republic. I wonder how many mortgages were paid off with those worthless notes that they had.
Okay, so you're saying if they do a reset and it's 3 for 1 and you get 3 new units of the, 1 new unit for 3 of the current Federal Reserve notes, now it's going to cost hypothetically 3 times as much to pay off your note. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's right. But the reality is that I'm anticipating that they're going to release the hounds. They're doing the Jade Helm right now, where they're basically role-playing how they would, in effect, do martial law across this country. And since they've been training for the last 7 years in Tennessee with the operation, what they call it, community farming, where they go out and they literally exterminate everybody in the outlying areas, they're looking at eliminating the creditor. We being the creditors, of course. So if you eliminate the creditor, the banks, the debtors, the Federal Reserve, and so forth, the crooks that are running this operation, well, they don't have to worry much because the creditors, the rank and file, we the people, no longer exist.
John Regan?
I think it's actually even worse than that. There's a gentleman here in North Texas, and there's not time to get into it, but basically with everything that's gone on with the collateralization of mortgages, that even if you pay off your loan, you may not ever be able to get clear title to your property. And that, like I say, that's a whole other can of worms to get into.
One last question for John real quick. If you had a 401k and your only option, because you're still working, is to put it in treasuries or some type of reverse ETF that goes up when the stock market goes down, is there any comfort level that you have for either of those?
Well, I wouldn't be in treasuries because when interest rates go up, that's going to cause the value of those to go down, and interest rates have to go up at some point. And while I believe we're going to see stock markets go down, there's also the possibility that if we hit that hyperinflation, you could actually end up with higher indexes.
To be continued. Captain John Regan, thanks so much for being with us. Mike Parsons in Tennessee, I'm so glad you're home. I really am. It's wonderful to hear your voice. Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next? It's up to you. Meet up tonight. Jimmy's Egg. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.